Hello and welcome to Tomb Raider to celebrate the game's 10th anniversary. So last week I did a stream that covered the final hours set of videos that are extras on this. Of which it's split up into 6 episodes. So I covered that last week. Last week's stream of this was actually 50% planned, but 50% not, because I was thinking of doing split streams of the Shadow of the Tomb Raider No Death Challenge and this game. And then when I finally decided to do it, it was late my time last week, and so I only managed to fit in one stream of this 10th anniversary celebration. So that was last week, and I just got back from a 20-minute break after doing the second stream, which was covering some behind-the-scenes videos that I had compiled into a playlist. We watched through those. I won't actually be publishing those to the Twitch VODs, so you won't be able to see that now. But watched those, and then took a 20-minute break, and now we're back again. Before we actually jump into the first of 3 back-to-back playthroughs of this game, we're going to cover the Prequel Comic book that came with this version of the game. Hey there, 19. Welcome on in. Right on time. Or did you already miss half the stream and you had to restart? It just looks like you're on time, because that'd be just your luck. Yeah, no, this is the third Tomb Raider stream today, actually. The first one was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. 2 hours into the stream I died again, so I had to restart the game from scratch. So I'll get back to that again next week. And then did that stream 20 minutes ago with all the videos, and here we are back again. Thank you so much for the good luck, and happy Friday to you as well. And thanks for the welcome back also. So this Tomb Raider Prequel comic, it does have some discrepancies with the actual game itself, but they're minor in detail and don't ruin the game or anything like that. So I don't know if there was just a error in checking the two together or whatnot, but we're going to do this first, and then I'm going to start the first of 3 back-to-back playthroughs of Tomb Raider 2013. Tomb Raider: The Beginning. Script: Rhianna Pratchett. Pencils and pages 5 to 28. Nicholas Daniel Selmer. Pencils pages 29 to 52. Andrea Mutti. Inks pages 5 to 28 is Juan Gedeon. Inks pages 29 to 52 is Pierluigi Baldacchini. Colors is Michael Attier. Lettering is Michael Heisler. And cover art and design by Brian Horton. And Dark Horse Books. Publisher Mike Richardson. Collection designer Kat Larson. Assistant editors Chantel LaRoque and Ian Tucker. Editor Dave Marshall. So what it does is it shows you the full page, and then when you go to the next screen, it'll actually go in to each panel, and that's how I'm going to progress. I won't worry about trying to read the text as we see it in the one big page, just each individual panel. So you have Whitman's World. He's got a Best Documentary Series trophy. Knock knock. It's Tom. Come. How's my favorite client? If I see him, I'll ask. I hope that's chai latte. So the network tells me Season 2's figures are doing okay. Shelley, could you give us a few minutes, please? It's Shelby. Oh, of course. Of course. Just okay? Okay is good. No, good is good. Don't panic, they've commissioned a 3rd season, you're still golden. Ah, the new crew. Looks like they could find a bar, a brothel, or a burger, not so sure they could find the lost kingdom of... where was it? Yamatai. Right, still bet they've got some stories. I'm taking a unit down to their boat tomorrow, start on the interviews. An ex-cop? Seems a bit excessive for an archaeological expedition? I know, but Captain Roth insisted he pick his own people. Lara Croft. Croft. Where have I heard that name before? Now, she is someone I wouldn't mind getting lost with. The Endurance, this is it. So there we have the ship, the Endurance. That's what selling your soul looks like? Surprised it was worth so much. Good to meet you, Captain. Call me Roth. This is Angus Grimaldi, my helmsman. And this is Lara Croft, one of our deckhands. It's an honor. I've watched all your shows. I studied Asian archaeology at college. Did you now? Well, always good to meet a fan. I'd very much like to get started on the interviews, Roth. There we go. So we have the camera guy set up there. In the background we see Lara reading a book, and Sam, her friend, is sunbathing. Then you have Grim on the right. Well, he's to the left of the camera guy. Then you got Roth. Then you got Whitman being attended to by one of the assistants. Oh my god, it's an Alexa. Sam, don't disturb them. I have to, it's so beautiful. It's an Aria Alexa, isn't it? Yes, the Plus. I've got the original. Digital's the only way to go, isn't it? Let's not lose the light. Sorry, she's a camera nut. Dr. Whitman, this is my friend Samantha Nishimura. We went to college together. I'm not one of the crew, I'm just keeping Lara company and topping up my tan. Ain't no powder's gonna help our faces, lass. Then perhaps I can take your drink. Nope, the brew stays with me. We'd rather you didn't drink on camera. Not brew, brew. Earn brew, finest drink in Scotland, finest drink in the world. Oh, just let him have it, we have to start. I'm here with Captain Conrad Roth of the Endurance and his helmsman, Mr. Angus Grimaldi. Mr. Grimm. So, I believe you gentlemen have been going on expeditions together for over 20 years. What he doesn't know about ships isn't worth knowing. If it's wet, I can sail on it. Tell us about one of your adventures. Remember Somalia, Angus? Aye. Alright, so this line of dialogue here, where Grimm says, if it's wet, I can sail on it, that's actually directly a quote to what he says in the game itself. Before the moment in the game that we see. So this gives you some backstory on Roth and Grimm, this prequel comic. A couple of years back we were doing a bit of business in Somalia. Actually, it was more like reclaiming a client's personal property. Let's just say the natives weren't friendly. Daft bastards ain't got nothing on me ma. Pity your ma ain't here then. Think they'll kill us? Probably. Wish they'd hurry up then. It's all this fannying about I can't stand. You saw the horse, right? Yeah, in that side office, along with your pistols. Buyer must have not shown up yet. Damn it, Angus, I'm not going out like this. There's a jeep outside unguarded. We just need something sharp to cut these bindings. I can help there. When they knocked me down, I managed to secure us a little bit of salvation. That's not really the type of it's supposed to be. So Angus had a razor blade in his mouth. So then we escaped, got the horse back, stole the jeep, narrowly escaped being shot, stabbed, and cut up with a machete. I'd rate it a 7-point day, maybe 7.5. Should that be happening? Shit, it's coming from the engine room. How the hell have you been keeping this thing afloat for so long? Can you fix her? Unlikely, even if I could, it would take weeks. We don't have weeks. We're on a schedule here. You'd better pray for a miracle then. Or phone one. She won't be happy. Bit of a situation. Can you come a few days early? You know I'm looking after Alicia. We need you. Okay. I need you. I need you, Reyes. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm sorry, baby. I know you had a whole thing planned for us. It's okay. Uncle Roth! Lara! Alicia, you've grown. Duh, it's been a year. Is she mad? Yeah, but work will calm her down soon. Thanks for coming early, Reyes. The engine's died on us. I was hoping you could coax it back to life. Mom can fix anything. It couldn't wait until Alicia's summer vacation was over? We're on a tight schedule. TV money's good, but they don't like being jerked around. Neither do I. Come on, let's get you some breakfast. Alright, so this is how Reyes comes to the ship. Now, her daughter, Alicia, is not revealed in this prequel comic. But her daughter, Alicia, is actually the daughter of her and Roth. But Roth never finds out because he dies before that happens. So this is the only time we actually see their daughter Alicia. So she calls him Uncle Roth because she doesn't know that he is actually her father, and of course it's a term of endearment. Obviously you can call someone your uncle or auntie without them actually being your uncle or auntie, but they are like that to you. So that's what's really being implied here with this whole little scenario. Let's get her while she's fresh. Jocelyn Reyes, I presume? Yep, Mr. TV, I presume? I'd love to interview you. I'm busy. I promise we won't take up too much time. Go on then, get it over with. Why don't you tell me why an ex-cop ended up being a mechanic? Smart guy like you, I'm betting you know the answer to that already. Well, I know you quit the NYPD over a gang shooting. Something to do with your partner? Let me tell you something. So we get a bit of backstory now about Reyes, and that she actually used to be a cop. He was one of the best on the force, taught me everything he knew about being a good cop. After a few years on the job, we got caught in a drug den shootout. His weapon must have jammed. They gunned him down like he was nothing. I promised his family that I'd make it right. But drug money buys good lawyers. The bastards got away with it. I couldn't take that, so I quit. But I'd made a promise. And I kept it. So obviously Reyes got revenge and shot the pricks dead. But I still had bills to pay, so I moved in with my sister. And went to work in my brother's garage. The work calmed me. I guess you could say I had a knack with machines. They're less complicated than people. So Reyes knows what it feels like, already to actually lose someone that was dear to you. Something which Lara experienced herself as well. So there's kind of like a common ground thing that Lara and Reyes actually have. Certainly less complicated than Conrad Roth. I met him down at a bar I used to drink at after work. It had been a tough day. I was missing the force. You've had enough. Fill it up, damn it. If I can't find them, I'll forget them. Some guy was making a fuss. He'd been drinking all day and they'd cut him off. He wasn't happy. Kept talking about his missing friends and how he should have found them by now. I wasn't in the mood for other people's bullshit. Thwack. So I sorted it. When he came to, I was ready for retaliation, but instead he just laughed, said he deserved it. We talked and then he offered me a job. This job. So he saw potential in you. Perhaps Roth has an instinct about people. Can't say I agree with him every time, but the man trusts his gut. And what about Alicia? Has she ever come on an expedition? No, I normally keep her away from all that. My sister looks after her when I'm away. What about her father? He wasn't ready to be a parent. So that's Reyes saying that, of course. In the letter that she actually writes for Roth, she doesn't say that, because Roth doesn't know that Alicia is actually his daughter. So they never had a conversation about that, and then he said I wasn't ready to be a parent, and then they went their separate ways or anything. That's just her way of simplifying her reasoning as to why she didn't tell Roth about Alicia, was that she felt that he wasn't ready to be a parent, given the kind of lifestyle that he led. There's a call for you, Doctor. A Thomas Goldman. I'll be right there. James, how's it going down there? This bunch will make for great TV. That's what I was ringing about. What is it? The final figures are in for season 2 of Whitman's World. They're not good. When you say not good, I mean bad. Really bad. Shit. I said Aztec Ruins were a mistake. There's no easy way to put this, but the network's pulling the funding for season 3. It's over. We'll see you in a few days. What's he talking about? I don't know. Just keep walking. So, these two people aren't on the ship in the game because they leave. Because Whitman's funding for what he wanted to do on his show has now basically been taken from him, which makes him desperate to find ways to actually get that money. And we find out later that he's actually got a marriage that's on the rocks and stuff like that. Are you sure everything's okay, Dr. Whitman? Oh, of course, the network just needed them elsewhere for a while. They'll be back. Okay, but if you need any help whilst your assistant is away, just let me know. I appreciate the offer, Lara, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Thomas, tell me you've been busy with convincing the network to reinvest in Whitman's world. You know what the network's like? It's all about ratings with them. But it's the search for Yamatai, the Lost Kingdom. It could be a gold mine. It's archaeology live. Follow the adventures as they happen. You know I love the concept. This is going to happen, Tom, even if I have to fund it myself. You mean Sheila actually left you with something after the divorce? Look, just try to get them to reconsider. Please, I need this. I'll try. It's James. My code's not working. That's because I changed it. Just let me in. What the hell are you doing, Sheila? Selling your old stuff. Old stuff? They're antiques. Whatever. Are you leaving me anything? You get the house when I'm through with it. I get the bank account and the rest. You're not being reasonable. Oh, not the Chinese armoire. Thomas told me about the network cancelling your show. I thought I'd better take what's owed to me while you still got it. Look, let me sell them for us. I'll get a much better price. Do you really think I trust you after what you did? She was 24. 22, but it doesn't matter. I wish that vase actually hit the fucking prick in the face. Crash. Thomas, those pieces the London Museum sent us for Season 3, have they gone back yet? I've got them here. They'll have to go back soon, though. Then get them ready for me. It's best I don't know what you want these for, isn't it? So who are these guys? Fu, Lu, and Shu. Chinese gods of good fortune, prosperity, and longevity. My local Chinese restaurant has something similar. There are versions in every home in China, but these boys date back centuries. If these don't get back to the museum, we're going to be in some serious shit. Delay it as long as you can. Worst comes to worst, just tell the museum that I'm delivering them back personally. Fergus, it's me. Green door, right? Right, look, you need to be careful with this guy. You wanted a quick buyer, I got you one. But he's unpredictable. Bzzz. I don't have a choice. I'll give you your cut after the sale. I'm here to see Mr. Hong. Go in. You're late. Show them to me. Discoloration is suspect. Prickling is too even. Maybe if you took your shades off? That won't be necessary, Dr. Whitman. But I will need to take this away for further examination. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. Chen, could you help the doctor with his hearing, please? I can assure you, those are genuine and well worth the agreed price. Sorry, really like your show. Smack. Hit him again. Thwack. Blam! Blam! Thwack. Please, no more hitting. Dr. Whitman? Yes? Quick, let's get out of here. Oh god, there goes the funding. That's my van. Blam! I'm Jonah Mayava. Roth sent me. He thought you might be getting yourself into trouble. Who are you? Oh, who are you? I'm Jonah May... I can't pronounce his last name. I'm Jonah Mayava. Roth sent me. He thought you might be getting yourself into trouble. Roth knew. He pretty much knows everything that happens on his ship. 19, yikes. You kind of get why he's such a prick the entire game, but you can't entirely blame his ex-wife either. Yeah, exactly, 19, you know. And it just goes to show that, you know, Whitman is a very cunning and, you know, slimy type of person in more ways than, you know, just what we see in the game. Thank you for what you did back there. You're welcome, man. We're all part of the same crew. I'd better go and talk to Roth. He's out at the moment. Come on, give me a hand. Is this for the ship? Yep. I'm the cook and General Dog's body. Just arrived today. We better get that scene too. It's just a graze. I've had worse. Hey guys, I'm going to see my folks for a bit and drop Alicia at the airport. I'll be back for the big launch. Take care of yourselves, you two. You have to find a way, James. You have to. How are you doing? I've been better. Why didn't you tell us the network had pulled the funding? I was hoping I could find the funding some other way. Yeah, 19 Jonah. It's interesting the way that they've, you know, designed him in here. Because you'd think he was a Caucasian male without any sort of Hawaii or New Zealand descent. My agent is still trying to convince the network to reconsider. If they don't, they're idiots. The search for Yamatai could be groundbreaking. Exactly. It's out there somewhere. If the spirits mean for us to find it, then we will. I don't think spirits have anything to do with it, Jonah. Lara, my little bird, you've got to listen to your heart sometimes. You're starting to sound like Dad, at least at the end. Wait a minute. Was your father Richard Croft, the archaeologist? Yes. I thought I recognized the name. I'm sorry about what happened. Thank you. I used to want to be like him, but he spent more time chasing dreams than facts. Yamatai is no dream. It's out there. I know. It has to be. We will get funded. I'm even prepared to invest my own money in this venture. You don't see that very often. A man who's prepared to put his money where his mouth is. Unfortunately, the divorce didn't leave me with quite as much as I'd hoped. Well, not that we don't appreciate your efforts in trying to secure more, but where does that leave us? My agent's still working on the network. They might reconsider. And what happens if they don't? I can put up half the money, but that's stretching it. I'm still without a cameraman or a researcher. I could be your researcher. I've done it before, and I used to go on digs with my parents. That would solve one problem, but research is no good without funding. Get out on deck, Roth. It's Alex. What's he doing here? Now we find out how Alex came into this situation. Screech! Good to see you too, big man. You've got to give a guy sanctuary, Roth. They finally found me. So what have you done this time? And hurry up, there's a match on. You know how certain government bodies have been covering up certain activities that certain people are keen to expose? Well, I may have just a little bit hacked into certain databases that said government bodies get quite antsy about people seeing. And now? Now he's on the run. LC's got it, and I was in the middle of working on some groundbreaking software too. And you thought you'd run here? I think I've lost them. Besides, I heard you were starting an expedition. Thought you might be able to use my skills. Come on, Roth. We could use him, couldn't we? As long as you keep him out of my way. Hey, where's the love, Reyes? The expedition's experiencing a few funding issues. Temporarily. Got it, Roth. You joined us today for Sheffield United vs. Tranmere Rovers. You know I'm useful, Roth. Seriously, I'll do it for free. The lad must be desperate. If we get paid, you'll get paid. So, I'm in? Yes, get set up. And there's the kickoff. Come on, you. Come on, you blades. Off you go, fly, my pretty fly. Knock knock. Who is it? Dr. Whitman. Come in. You're the TV guy, right? Right. So where's your crew, cameras, a hot girl to powder my face? It's just me for now, I'm afraid. So Jimmy Whitman, you being all by your lonesome wouldn't have anything to do with the network pulling your fundings? Or maybe it's the divorce? How do you know about all that? It's amazing what you can do with the internet and 15 years of hacking experience. Well, yes, it is true that the network changed their mind about funding Season 3. So what exactly are we doing here then? I'm hoping my agent can make them reconsider. But you don't think they will, do you? That's why you've been to such extreme lengths to try and fund this yourself. The internet told you that? No, Jonah did. Come on, let's get some air. I need to let a piece of software run. So there's a picture of Queen Himiko with a big smile on her face, which definitely is not how we actually see her in the game. Because by the time we see her in the game, she's half dead and half alive. One thing's for sure, the secret of Yamatai won't be in any book. There are people that make sure certain shit doesn't get written down. At least not in books. What do you mean? It's obvious, isn't it? Yamatai's a cover-up by the Japanese government. It's probably full of all kinds of stuff they don't want us finding out about. Well, you always said that we've got lots of stuff we don't want them finding out about. Yeah, sure, but their stuff is probably much cooler. I'd ask for my book back, but I think you could use the education. If we find Yamatai and it's full of killer robots and genetic mutations, I called it. Of course, we need to get out of port first. I may know a way we can kick up a bit of extra funding. Meet me in my cabin and ditch the tape recorder. Before I left, I was working on a piece of software that could hack gambling sites, turn the tables in my favor. I don't like the sound of that. It's a faceless crime, LC. I've been testing it out over the last couple of hours. Look, it's already raked in $2 grand. 99.9%. And it's undetectable? Do you think Alex's plan is going to work? It's worth a shot. This may sound crass, but Lara's family had money, didn't they? Yes, but Lara never touches it. tied up the majority of it so tightly that she can't, even if she wanted to. Why would anyone do that? Because she wants to make her own way, on her own terms. Look out! What happened? The 0.1%. Like, whoops. Sam, it's Lara. Hey sweetie, you all ready to go? No, the funding's fallen through. You're kidding. No, but Whitman still wants to make the documentary. He's putting his own money into it, but it's not enough. I know your uncle's financed Roth before. Want me to talk to him? He'll want a big slice of what we find, though. I don't think that'll be a problem. Then let's make this happen. Thanks, Sam. He said yes. You don't know what this means, Sam. It gets better. I'm coming with you. I'll take that. It's my baby. Everyone's having breakfast. Let's tell them. My agent says the network won't budge. There'll be no funding. Then we might as well just pack up our bags and go. Not until you've heard Sam out. Hey, my morning's looking up. I'd quit that attitude now if I were you, Alex, or it's going to be a very long trip. Lara, let me know the score. I spoke to my uncle. He's prepared to cover the rest of the funding. That's incredible. I know your uncle. What's his price? 60% of the sale price of anything you bring back. Yeah, that sounds like him. The bastard always drives a hard bargain. Anything else we should know? There is one other condition. You need a camera person. You're right. The network paid for the last one. Well, now you've got one. I studied cinematography at college. I filmed in the Arctic, the Congo, and the Red Desert. I can do this. This, of course, all explains why Sam is there, beyond the fact that she was there, present on the ship before, but she left because she was only visiting at that time. Whereas since Whitman lost the funding and lost the camera crew, that's why they get Sam back, and that's how they get the money to actually fund the rest of the trip. So we're on, right? We're finally going to leave? Thank God, I hate being this close to land. Do you think there's enough for a new laptop? My hands feel weird with that one. More than enough. Okay then, let's get this show on the road. I better get some more supplies in. Bacon and eggs would be good. Toast's no kind of breakfast. What should I do, Dr. Whitman? I need you to pick up a few books for my office. Okay. Take my driver. I'm going to start filming. The south might be warmer, but there's less chance of pirates if we go via Norway. Then we better make sure we've got the right permits. Alex, can you hurry them along? By hurry, you mean just make them happy. On it, right after this screen is fixed. Your laptop's here, Alex. Awesome. The engine's as good as she'll ever be. Thanks, Reyes. We'll set sail in a couple of hours. Anything you'd like to say to Alicia, Reyes? I'll send it on to her. Be good for Auntie Una while I'm away. Keep practicing your piano. I love you, baby. Are you ready for your close-up, Miss Croft? Don't be silly, Sam. I'm not important. You will be one day. I know it. Maybe one day we'll both be. I can't believe we're doing this. I know, it's incredible. It's going to change our lives. The beginning. So there we go. That is the prequel comic for the events before the game. And we find out that Reyes used to be a cop. So she has experience with using weaponry already. Because she's been in that type of job, that's why she refers to Lara as green, because in her mind Lara's not ready to take on this kind of responsibility or this kind of, difficulty and all that kind of stuff, which plays into their animosity between each other later on in the story, and how Lara, has that deep well within her of strength and courage and determination that this whole experience brings out, and part of that experience is showing what others had underestimated within her as being a thing that she could do. So that plays into all that as well. And then we see how Sam ends up on the ship, and the things that happen with Whitman and all that kind of stuff. So these are the sketches by Andrietta Muti. 19. All of this makes the game that much more tragic. Jesus. Yeah, that's true. Especially when you think about characters like Alicia, who doesn't know that Roth is her father, but the fact that Reyes has to tell Alicia that Roth is dead by the end of the story, all that kind of stuff, and reveal to her that he actually was her father. Sketches by Nicolas Daniel Selma. Tomb Raider, the essential continuation of Lara Croft's journey, coming soon from Dark Horse Comics. There we go. So that's the prequel comic. Would have been cool to have like voiceover narration for it, and especially the characters that are in the game itself have the same people provide the voices and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different concept arts and things like that. But what I might do is leave that until I get to my second playthrough of this game, this 10th anniversary. I'll split it up like that. There's also an art book as well that you can look at, but I will cover that in a future stream. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start the first of 3 back-to-back playthroughs of this game. So the first playthrough of this game is a 100% playthrough. So we'll be getting all the collectibles. We'll also be listening to all the bits of lore that you find when Lara finds journal entries, as well as when she finds objects and comments on them. We're going to be getting all of that and that kind of stuff. And what I'm going to do is showcase a different outfit of Lara's as we go through the game, as we go through the playthroughs and stuff like that. So in this stream, we'll just stick with the outfit that Lara has from the start of the game. Yeah, here we go, 19. The last playthrough I did of this was back in January.
A famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. I'd finally set out to make my mark, to find adventure. But instead, adventure found me. In our darkest moments, when life flashes before us, we find something that keeps us going. Something that pushes us.
19, hell of an intro. It well and truly is. Like, it's still so visceral nowadays too, you know, and when Lara falls and that friggin' pylon spike or whatever you call them goes into her stomach and everything, it's like, ugh. Anakin, man, you were in university and happy when you first played this one. Yeah, 10 years ago. It's crazy to think. 19, no idea why you played this to begin with way back when. You think it was free on PS Plus, but you're really glad that you did. It's awesome when that happens with games. You just go out on a chance and play it and end up really enjoying the experience. It can go the other way too, of course, but it's also good when it goes the right way. Anakin, oh yeah, you're not even watching, for you're eating oatmeal right now. Well, I hope you're enjoying the oatmeal, Anakin. It's still interesting, all the details, you know, the environment and that, all these different animal skulls as well, and the water dripping through, and the dust in the air, and all that kind of stuff. It makes you wonder, like with the Solari, so they all had the others, so I wonder what the idea was in separating them. You know, like the logic of why one of the Solari, and that's the name of the people on the island, that was concocted by Matthias. It makes you wonder why one of the Solari would do that, but I guess you could probably argue that the Solari who actually punched Lara and brought her to this location, highly likely being the same guy that will come across soon, he probably wanted to keep Lara for himself, you know, which is probably why she was put separate from the other people. Whereas all the other characters that were washed up on the island, when Lara last saw them, were all together bunched up. So it's interesting, in some of the trailers, Lara will actually comment on this person and be like, Steph, oh god.
What happened to you?
But in the final game, that's the only thing that she says. She doesn't name the character. So in the final version of the game, this character goes unnamed. But if you saw one of the early trailers, they actually named the character Steph. So rest in peace, Steph, both for the fact that your character is dead, but also for the fact that your character wasn't ultimately given the name or anything in the final version.
Torture.
19, he does claim that he wants to help her. Yeah, I've seen the death animation that happens when you let him help Lara, and it's definitely not the kind of help that I would want. Was Steph on the boat? Steph didn't even make the comic. Yeah, that's the other question, 19. That's one of the discrepancies with the prequel comic and that kind of stuff. That this character was not on the Endurance in the prequel comic. And we don't really see her on the Endurance in any of the cutscenes in the final version of the game, so... And she's not wearing, you know, clothes from a different time period, and her body, you know, isn't fully decomposed, so... It definitely is a character that was recently killed. But yeah, we just don't see them on the ship at all, in both the prequel comic or the game. So let's look at the situation Lara's in, right? She's alone at this point. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She doesn't know where the others are. She doesn't know how many of the others are actually still alive. Doesn't know yet that she's actually on Yamatai either. So you got all this confusion and all this kind of stuff. And put on this island where there's so many dangers and stuff like that. And a lot of people shallowly say that these Tomb Raider games, these reboot ones, are just copies of Uncharted. But from the get-go, there's very different things that are going on compared to Uncharted. And also Lara as a character, you know. Lara, aside obviously from the obvious difference of Lara as a woman and Nathan Drake as a man, there's more differences beyond that as well between the two characters. And if you're going to play the game of nothing else for the rest of time can use something already done in something else, then you would also have to say that Uncharted is not good because it copies from other things, i.e. Lara Croft and Indiana Jones, you know. So when you follow that logic, it hits a brick wall. So survival instincts is an interesting thing, because this kind of thing was popularized by Assassin's Creed in 2007. It wasn't the first game to ever feature an alternate vision mode for the character. If you look at Ubisoft's own franchises, Splinter Cell did that first amongst the Ubisoft franchises by having, you know, the night vision goggles or the thermal vision goggles. And then Assassin's Creed did the whole eagle vision thing. And then Batman Arkham Asylum, 2 years after Assassin's Creed came out, did detective mode. And then you have, in 2010, you have Red Dead Redemption using Deadeye to create a different vision mode for the character. And then in 2013, you have Lara's Instinct mode. That's just a few examples. Obviously, there's probably more examples that could be said. But they're the main ones for me that stick out as games that have that kind of, you know, different vision mode. So in this game, they decided to make it survival instincts. And this is one of the things that you can upgrade. Now, did Uncharted have this system? Maybe it did, and I just can't remember because it's been 2 years since I played any of the Uncharted games. But from what I can remember, this wasn't in Uncharted 1 at least, which came out, you know, in 2007. So this is another example of something that is different between Uncharted and this reboot version of Lara Croft. And the very nature of upgrading. You don't upgrade Nathan Drake's skills in any of the Uncharted games. You do in this game. So you're probably going to hear me mention this quite a lot in this playthrough about the differences between Uncharted and this reboot series as well. Not because I don't like Uncharted, I actually absolutely love those games, but just to point out the shallowness of the criticism that these reboot games got. In my third playthrough to celebrate this game's 10th anniversary, what I'm going to do is showcase, or try and showcase, as many deaths that can happen as possible. And that'll be one of them with that dude. 19, having this sort of sensory vision is such a standard now. You don't hate it though. Yeah, 19, exactly. It's become like one of those gameplay mechanics that is along the lines of checkpoints. Along the lines of, you know, certain sorts of game mechanics. It becomes part of the tools that developers can use in their games to convey some things. You know, so it's become standardized kind of affair. Not every game has to have it, of course, but every game that does have it, you know, it's a standard kind of thing. There's only, I think from memory, 2 points.
Thank God.
2 points in this game where the game automatically turns on instincts for you. So outside of that, you can definitely do. You can definitely do a playthrough where you don't use instinct mode at all. You forgot to do something, Rod, didn't you? There you go. They really made the deaths in this so brutal, and there are so many. Poor Lara, but looking forward to that playthrough. Yeah, it's like... I mean, even in the old school Tomb Raider games, that not all of them actually showed any impacts or something, but even in those games, it was like, oh fuck, sorry Lara, you know? Missing steps, Rod, missing steps. There we go. Oh my god, Rod, what are you fucking doing? I'm getting every single little tiny step of progression in what I need to do. Alright. And of course... Oh yeah, there is enough. There we go. Alright. Will that be enough to do it? Probably not. Just.
I've got to get out of here.
So the music in this game is by Jason Graves. Here's a link to his IMDb. And some other games that I like to play that he's done music for is Until Dawn, as well as all the Dark Pictures games so far, as well as The Quarry. I'm pretty sure he did The Quarry, or maybe he didn't do The Quarry. Yeah, it doesn't look like he did the music for The Quarry. Hang on, no, sorry, that was the wrong section. Sorry, I was in the music department section of his IMDb. But in the composer section of his IMDb, oh yeah, so he didn't do the Quarry music, but he's definitely done The Dark Pictures, Switchback VR, The Devil in Me, House of Ashes, Little Hope, and Man of Medan as well as Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, and Until Dawn, Murdered Soul Suspect, Dead Space 3, Awakened, Tomb Raider this game, and his most recent game was the Dark Pictures Switchback VR experience. So we have a whole sequence there, and that's one of the elements that is similar to Uncharted, is the idea of having this intense sequence where the character has to rush and there's shit happening. In the Uncharted games, sometimes it's stuff falling beneath Nathan Drake's feet behind him as he runs, or it's gunfire, or it's explosions, and all that kind of stuff. But guess what else you see that kind of thing in? Before Uncharted was even a thing. Movies. Uncharted was not the first thing to show a character being chased by something, or things destroyed behind them, running and jumping and being shot at, explosions, all that kind of stuff. So by that logic, you would have to then say that Uncharted has no merit because it copies off a movie, which would be asinine, you know. So when the games in the reboot trilogy do that too, people are like, oh, you're just copying Uncharted. But it's like, what did Uncharted copy then? So if the actual simplistic thing of copying a concept is a bad thing, then it means that anything that uses that concept after the first thing in existence that ever used it, by definition has to be terrible automatically. No, that's ridiculous. You know, that's like saying the first Doom game is inferior objectively because it's not the first first-person shooter game ever made. Therefore, any first-person shooter games that came out before the very first one that was ever made are completely inferior automatically. No, that's ridiculous. You know, looking at a game and not liking it is a different thing. You know, if you see something that's already been done before in something else, that doesn't mean you have to automatically like it. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that if you saw something happen in something else and then you see it in something else later and you really love that thing that had happened in first but not later, that's a bad thing. You know, it's okay for that kind of stuff. But where it gets me is people are like, you know, this copied off that, therefore having that same thing automatically means that it's terrible. And that's just not the case with anything anymore that exists. Originality can never be done now. But what can be done is different combinations of things. For example, what if you had an action-adventure game that was about a chef? You know, how many action-adventure games revolve around you playing as a character who's a chef? I don't know, maybe there is one. But my point is, if you were to do an action-adventure game that was about a chef going on these adventures, then that would be an original idea. Not because it has a chef in it, because that's not original. Chefs have been in other stuff before. It's not that it's an action-adventure game, because that's been done before. But combine the two, that creates an originality aspect to it. You know what I mean? When there was the first crossover of two genres, that was original. Whatever the first horror comedy was, that was original. The horror elements might not have been original, and the comedy elements might not have been original, but blending the two into the one thing was original. You know, so this notion that everything is either a complete copy or completely original doesn't exist anymore. Back in whatever time period, it did exist. The first thing of something, before it became popular, you know, is something that exists and has existed for a long time now. You know, you look at stories about characters and what they go through and their story arc and all that kind of stuff. This isn't new stuff. You know, having a character put into a situation where they're against all odds and they have to survive, that's been done so many times in so many different mediums that to isolate that one thing and say that anything that uses it after the first thing ever used it is automatically inferior is just ridiculous. But again, it's okay to not like something if you're looking at it and saying, I don't like this game. You know, I don't like this game because it's not as good of an action adventure game as this game is. Or I hate this first person shooter game because it's not as good as this other first person shooter game. That's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with disliking something. It's just that you can't expect everything in existence and everything that comes after for the rest of existence to not have one single little tiny even element from something else. Because then games like God of War 2018 would have to be considered inferior to other games that existed before that used Norse mythology, because God of War 2018 used Norse mythology. Which would be ridiculous to say and to believe and be like, hey, you know, I hate this game because it already did something that 5 games before it already did, even though this might be a good game, and then anything that comes out afterwards is, you know, completely inferior. It's just, you know, ridiculous. It'd be as ridiculous as saying that no games after the first game to have nighttime can ever have nighttime ever again. You know, there's just certain elements in things that are similar or the same from thing to thing, but what you add or what you subtract is what makes it different. You know, 19. Now, this game in Uncharted had completely different atmospheres and personalities for you to think they're even close to being similar personally. You just thought of an action movie where the guy's a chef. Yeah, I mean, Steven Seagal was in a couple of movies where he played a soldier, but he also was a chef. That was his, you know, his job that he ended up doing afterwards, you know, but he still had those skills, for example, and all that kind of stuff. But that's true, 19, you know, it's different atmospheres, different characters, you know. Nathan Drake doesn't have a rich family that he was born into. You know, he doesn't have a mother and a father who were rich. You know, Lara did. So that's one big difference right there as well, you know, between the two characters. And it's also like locations, you know, like there's locations that so many games cover. Does that mean though that every game after the first game that ever used that location is automatically inferior? No. Or that they're just a complete copy? No. You know, so these are elements that are things that, you know, can be done in so many different things. You know, and you know, we see Nathan Drake in flashbacks, obviously not as confident in his abilities as he is when we meet him when he's in his 30s, you know. But with Lara in the reboot games, you have a different thing. You know, she had a different upbringing. She actually had parents. She actually had, you know, money and all that kind of stuff. But she's put into this situation in this game where she's completely she's completely unprepared for anything that's going to happen in this. You know what I mean? And it's through this story that the evolution happens and that the experiences that she gains go forward. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, there's a great scene where Lara is shipwrecked. She's not shipwrecked, sorry. She's on a beach and this enemy's coming towards her. She's like, "Don't try me." Because she's got that confidence where she knows that she's a formidable opponent to people, you know, whereas in this, she doesn't have that yet, but it's part of her character growth, you know, and that's something that Nathan Drake doesn't have. You know, he doesn't get shipwrecked on an island, and that's the whole focus of the whole game, where he's just stuck on that island, and he's got people trying to kill him, and he has to survive, he has to hunt for food, he has to, you know, set up camp. You know, all these things that the reboot games do aren't in Uncharted, you know. But look at all the games that used sequences after Uncharted that aren't Tomb Raider, that also have a character running while explosions are happening and all that kind of stuff. Does that mean that those games are just copies of Uncharted 2? And that whole thing, as I said, you know, Uncharted was not the first game to ever have was not the first thing to ever have sequences where your character is running and there's like, shit going down. Now, that happens in a lot of movies as well. So by that logic, would that mean that the fact that it happens in Uncharted means Uncharted is, just a copy of those movies? No. Unless you're comparing it to a action adventure movie that has the same character as Nathan Drake, going to the same locations with the same kind of artifacts that he's going after, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just a very basic and shallow way of pigeonholing games into a box by simply taking elements that are similar and then saying that this is just a copy of that thing, even though that thing also copied off other stuff, but we're just going to say that that thing was the original thing. It's like, no. Like, Lara can jump in this game. Jumping in video games has been around before even the original Lara Croft was a thing in 1996. So does that mean that this is just a copy of Mario Brothers? No, of course not. When you start to boil down to specific things that people complain about and compare to and say they're just copies of, they're basically, things that multiple things before that have even incorporated, So we had that first sequence where Lara is fighting for her life. She has to get through that situation, otherwise she gets crushed by a rock, or falls down and dies, or that person kills her, or all these sorts of things. And it's intense, because what they're doing is they're creating that sort of like movie in a game kind of feeling. They want you to feel the same way that an audience would feel watching a character go through that. But the difference is you're controlling the character, so it's up to you to actually get Lara through that as well. Hey there, Barnes. Good evening to you. I hope it's going well. 19, any game these days will immediately be compared to a past game, but there are just too many games after so long. Originality will be hard. People will still complain. Pure originality in every aspect, you should say. You run in this game, that's been done. Exactly. And it's very limiting in perspective to boil things down to that and then just say, well, it's doing what something else already did, therefore it's just a copy. And the elements that are different are ignored. The things that make each thing different to each other, are just ignored by people, and they just focus on the similarities.
The lifeboat. Where are they? They must have gone inland. Okay, take it slow.
It's funny, on this first one, Lara's very careful. On the ones afterwards, you can just run or jump while on them. Her first log crossing, literal baby steps. That's true, being very careful, being very slow. I really like the atmosphere on Yamatai and the environments and all that stuff. Near miss. this is one of those games where it's obvious through looking at certain things, you know that this island has a history, and that Lara and the rest of the characters are not the first people to actually land on this island over the centuries. And that's why the lore that you read about, or that gets read to you, is just so interesting, because it really fills in all that detail and gives you a sense of what the other characters in the centuries before actually experienced. And also the decades and stuff before. Can't wait to see those deaths. Yeah, that's going to be interesting in the third run through that I'll be doing as part of the celebration, to see all the death moments in the game. Or try to see all of them.
Sam's pack. Sam! They must have come this way. Sam? Roth? Can anyone hear me? I've got to find them. Okay.
It's also going to be cool to do the playthrough where I just have the music alone and no sound effects and dialogue. This game's got amazing music too.
Looks abandoned. Is anyone listening? Please respond. Here's the soon-to-be world-famous archaeologist, Lara Croft, in her native habitat. She's on the hunt for the lost kingdom of Yamatai, home to the fabulous Himiko, mythical Sun Queen, and ancestor of yours truly.
Sam, this is serious.
Oh, sweetie, I know. I'm just trying to lighten the mood here. Everyone's so on edge. What are you so worried about?
I'm close to something. I'm sure of it. I just don't know if the others will listen. Or even if they should.
Lara, you know this stuff better than anyone. Seriously, I'm not just saying this to make you feel better. I trust you, Roth trusts you. You got this. Now let's take a break, okay?
Okay, okay. And Sam, thanks.
She's not always this serious, you know?
How can you suggest I'm not serious about this expedition, Laura? It's not just Sam's family funding us. I put my savings on the line, too.
We've all got some kind of stake in this. The funding won't last forever, Whitman.
That's precisely why we should push east, not west.
No one believes Yamata is that far east. The books simply don't support it.
Well, whoever wrote those books never found Yamatai.
I've talked to Roth about this. There's no point in following in other people's footsteps, Dr. Whitman.
I refuse to bet my reputation on your hunch. I'm the lead archaeologist here.
And when were you last in the field without a TV crew behind you?
Got 30 years experience, 2 PhDs, 1 in East Asian history. So why don't you just stick to boats, Mr. Grimm?
Ship, Dr. Whitman. It's a ship. Don't need a PhD to know
Look,
that.
going east will take us directly into the Dragon's Triangle. That's where we need to go.
Lara, my little bird. I'd follow you almost anywhere, but that place has a bad energy.
Bad storms, more like. Makes the Bermuda Triangle look like Disney World. Sign me up.
The stories about Queen Himiko say she could summon storms. Myths are usually based on some version of the truth. What if Yamatai was somewhere in the triangle itself?
Look, this is the satellite imagery from inside the Dragon's Triangle.
That doesn't look good.
If it's wet, I can sail on it.
Oh, don't tell me you're seriously
Reyes is right. We don't have the funds to piss about. It's now or never. Lara's offering fresh ideas and a plan. I'm the captain here. It's my decision. We're going into the Dragon's Triangle.
Why am I even here?
I can't just sit here. I've got to find something to eat.
Hey there, Bellarista. Welcome. How are you doing? Sorry for the inactivity. You've been in vacations and you were travelling. There was no internet where you've been. That's completely fine, Bellarista. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you had a great time with your vacations and everything. And that's understandable too, you know, not being able to use the internet. But welcome on in. I hope things have been going great. And I'm doing well, thanks. Things have been going good. Did a stream earlier of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Still doing my no death challenge with that game, but 2 hours into the stream I died again. So I decided to put that to bed today and then come back to that next week and try again from the start. So here we are with another stream to celebrate this game's 10th anniversary. 19, he said the thing! You gotta love it in things when that happens, don't you? So cool. So I tried to put them in as quickly as possible, who played who and what. So people unfamiliar with the game are probably thinking who was Roth again and who was Grimm and all that kind of stuff. But they're the people who play those characters that we saw in that cutscene.
Oh, God. What's going on here? Wait. I can use that bow.
It's fun. I didn't actually realize until I was watching the behind the scenes of this game to compile the video compilation that I did in the previous stream, which won't be on the VODs though. I haven't published it. It was interesting to find out that the game engine that this game runs on is the same as Tomb Raider Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld.
Can't hunt with my bare hands.
And
I need to
also,
find a weapon.
and also the Lara Croft game, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, as well.
can do this. Let's see if this thing still works. Just remember Roth's training.
You can have the best forming technique in the world, but it won't mean a thing if you can't focus. The key to using any weapon is focus.
So hungry. I need to find something to eat. Sorry. Right, back to camp.
One of the other videos that
All right, Laura. You won't always have some fancy gadget to tell you where you are. If you can learn to read the land and the stars, you'll always be able to find your way home.
one of the videos that I was watching, one of the people being interviewed talked about the other kinds of games that people had worked on who also were brought in for this game, and people who had worked on the like Red Dead Redemption 1, which came out in 2010, 3 years before this game came out, actually worked on this, as well as some people from Prince of Persia even. So that was quite cool. This is another thing that Uncharted doesn't have, which is an XP leveling up system and a skill-based system, where you can actually upgrade things about Lara to improve things like the instincts that Lara uses, or various other gameplay sort of like advantages. It also doesn't have the ability to go and hunt animals for resources. Oh yeah, and Robin Atkin Downes, who plays Conrad Roth in this, he was in a lot of the Uncharted games as well. He even played the prince in Prince of Persia: Warrior Within. So at the moment, Lara is visiting this particular area at this time of day. But if you come back here later on, it's a different time of day. So part of this first run through to celebrate the game's 10th anniversary is also getting all the collectibles. So this is essentially a 100% playthrough, this first run through. In the second run through for this celebration, I'll be playing the game with just the...
It happened again. Private Kosuke. He was on gate duty last night. No one heard anything. And this morning, they found his helmet. Nothing else. No tracks of his leaving, no blood, no shell casings. Nothing. The others are talking about Chinese partisans. Maybe even American GIs. Damn fools! They have no idea what's happening here. It is the Oni who stalk us. The restless, evil spirits. They live in the old places of this island. We are trespassers here, and they are watching us, waiting. All these wrecks, the ruins, this entire island is a graveyard. It's only a matter of time. The Oni will come for us.
Soldier, Oni Stalkers. From the Diary of a Soldier, he mentions Oni, demons from Japanese folklore. What could it have really been? I'd actually forgotten that in this game, when you actually collect these things, it automatically goes in and starts the audio, whereas in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it doesn't. And I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider for the past, well, not every day for the past 2 months, but at least once a week for the past 6 weeks. So I was still in the mindset of that. But as I was saying before this started playing, the second playthrough to celebrate this game's 10th anniversary will be music only, so I'll be turning the dialogue and sound effects off. Understand that kind of playthrough is not for everyone, which is one of the reasons why I'm not doing that first, but rather doing this playthrough first, because that way people who are interested in seeing just the game played normally, and also to get 100%, because that's what I'm working on in this playthrough, can watch and enjoy that. But those who are actually interested as well, and those who aren't, that's completely fine. Like I'm not narrow-minded to believe that every single type of playthrough I do for my games that I stream is going to be for everyone. But that's why when it comes to doing multiple playthroughs of the same game but doing things differently, especially in these 10th anniversary playthroughs, or whatever the year anniversary might be, is just to do something different. Try and do things that people wouldn't normally do for a game. In this little hub area, there's actually 5 of those tokens that you can destroy out of the 10. As you can see, sometimes a headshot doesn't count as a one-hit kill. So you get about 50 XP for the deer, and once you've done enough hunting in a little hub area, it will actually decrease the amount of XP you get from hunting any further.
Some kind of container. Who left these behind?
And there's no like time constraint on getting things that are challenges in this game, because you can literally wait till you get right at the end of the game story and finish it off, and then you can go around and get all the collectibles if you want. So I like games like that, where it's not like, hey, you didn't end up collecting these things at by this point in the game, therefore we're not going to allow you to get them after you finish the story. Alright, how many of those have I actually done? "19. You didn't mind the balance of travelling back and forth as you progress and get story upgrades. Finding the collectibles weren't too bad compared to some games. And the collectibles in this were great. You love the detail and the artifacts, even the voice acted collectibles." Absolutely, 19. That's one of the things that I really do like about this game, is the attention to detail with all that kind of stuff. And the other thing is too, I really like doing the 100% for this. Like, I don't do it every playthrough, but I think it's one of those games where it is very, very satisfying to get 100% completion in this game, and also fun as well. And this carries over into Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow as well. But it's also the fact that so much stuff gives you XP that even if you're doing a casual playthrough, you don't have to necessarily collect everything, but you don't necessarily have to just not collect anything, you know? Like, when you find a collectible that's like an artifact, you don't have to actually listen to Lara talk about the artifact. You can just exit out of that screen and get back to playing. And so often when I play this game, and I just do a casual run even, I'm still collecting collectibles as I see them, but I'm just not listening to the audio of it all the time. But for those playthroughs where I do that, It's definitely very fun as well. It's so atmospheric as well, and I love everything about what happened on the island. You know, there's so many years worth of story that they could have mined, which is why I wish that instead of trying to adapt this into a movie, I wish they simply adapted it into a series, and then that way they could have done quite a lot set on the island before Lara even gets there. You know, I mean, Matthias has been there for like, what, 30 years or something like that by the time Lara arrives. But, you know, World War II era pilots and soldiers ended up here. And then you think of Himiko's time period and all the things that would have happened back then. You know, there's just so much that they didn't mine any of that for the movie adaptation that they did. But I hold out hope that one day in the future they will actually take this game and adapt it into something long form, like a series, but actually show us characters in different time periods. It doesn't have to be all laid out in one time period and then lay out all the rest in the next. It could be littered through stuff, you know, and all that kind of stuff. You could have like a prologue that shows some of it, some flashbacks to it that we get shown as the audience when Lara finds something that is related to an event that happened. You know, just little things like that. And there's also one over this way, which is easy to not spot because it's before we get to the campsite at all. There's that one there. So that's 5 out of 10 destroyed. The other 5 are in a different location that we'll get to shortly. Something you might see me do in this playthrough as well is hanging back and listening for dialogue as well. If you're doing a playthrough where you don't want to get any upgrades, this is the only point in the game where the game is like, no, you must apply a skill to an ability. And the playthrough I did of this back in January actually was a no upgrade playthrough. But there was one skill that I could put into stuff. But I even went further and I looked at all the skills and figured out, okay, which skills would be an advantage in a no upgrade playthrough versus ones that wouldn't. And so I went with one of, I think there was 3 or 4 different skills that potentially are the best to just pick if you're doing a playthrough where you want to do no upgrades, but you want to still give yourself a challenge and you don't want to get any upgrades that you're forced to that are actually giving you a major advantage. But that's not this playthrough, so I can actually get what I actually would like. Extra salvage is really good to get, so I'm going to get that. Advanced salvaging. Thoroughly search crates and caches to find extra salvage.
This is Conrad Roth, captain of the Endurance. We are shipwrecked on an island inside the Dragon's Triangle.
Roth!
Lara!
You're alive!
Easy, easy. Are you okay? What happened?
I remember the beach. Then it went black and I woke up in a cave. There was this crazy man, Roth, and a dead body.
Oh, God. Where are you now, Lara? Are you safe?
It was so horrible. It's all my fault. This is all my fault.
Lara, listen to me. I sent an SOS from the Endurance before I abandoned her. Hopefully someone caught it. I've spoken to the others. We're regrouping at my location.
Please come and get me.
I have to stay here. You can do this, Lara. Remember when we climbed Snowden? You said the key was knowing that all you've got to do is just keep moving. Remember everything I've taught you, Lara. You're ready for this. And keep your radio on.
Okay. Music. someone there. This could be a way through. Damn it. What are these markings? What am I doing? Oh God, this is insane. This traditional no mask represents a hateful woman in the guise of a demon. There are traces of white paint on the inside. Whoever used this mask was of noble birth.
Anakin, yesterday you realised that you haven't played Vlad the Impaler's tomb in Assassin's Creed Revelations ever. Oh, you hadn't? So what'd you actually think of it? Because I really like that tomb, and I really like the weapon, Vlad's sword. Imagine how old some of that water is that Lara's going through. Oh yeah, Anakin. Yeah, the atmosphere in that is really, really good. I also like the music that they chose. One of the tracks from the previous Assassin's Creed games. It worked so well with that whole environment.
Did you get that?
Got it.
We have a fire. Look for the smoke.
We're on our way.
Anakin, it was a chef's kiss level. If only they didn't make the full sinker speed run, one could take it in even better. That's true, yeah, having to do it in a certain amount of time to get the full sync requirement / optional objective. It's definitely, means you have to be rushing.
Laura, you made it.
Sam, thank goodness.
Surprise. It's okay. He's one of us.
Sorry if I startled you. This place would make anyone a little jumpy. We just spoke to your crew. They're on their way.
Look, he bandaged my foot.
Oh, it was the least I could do. My manners. I'm sorry, I'm Matthias. A teacher by trade. Not really cut out for island life, I'm afraid.
Sweetie, you look exhausted. Sit down.
Yeah.
Sam here was just telling me about the Sun Queen.
Right, Himiko.
Can you tell me more? I'm intrigued.
Well, believe it or not, a couple thousand years ago, Queen Himiko pretty much ran things in Japan.
She loves telling this story.
Himiko was beautiful, enigmatic, but also ruthless and powerful. Legend says she had shamanistic powers.
And this is where she loses me.
Well, there's always some truth to myths.
She commanded an army of samurai warriors, her magnificent storm guard. They rode the very winds into battle, laying waste to all who opposed them. They say the sun rose at Himiko's command, and she ruled everything its rays touched, from the mountains to the sea and beyond.
But what happened to her?
Sam? Matthias? Sam? Sam! Shit! Ah! No! Sam!
Let go.
It's good to see you, little bird.
I'm so glad you're here. Is Sam with you?
She was with you.
She was here with that man, Matthias. But I passed out. When I woke up, they were both gone.
You girls shouldn't go wandering off.
We need to find them.
Wait. What about Raw?
Okay, let's split up. One of us go with Laura and meet up with Roth. The rest of us should fan out and look for Sam.
I'll go with her.
No. Let me.
You know how to use one of these?
It's been a while. It's all coming back to me.
Get to Roth. We'll find Sam and this Matthias guy.
You gonna be okay?
Yes, I probably just need to rest for a few minutes.
You sit here. I'll check up ahead.
Okay. Not so bad.
How do I stop?
Lara Croft, an archaeologist from the Endurance, shipwrecked on an island in the Dragon's Triangle, east of Japan. This place is incredible. I've seen wrecks here that could date back centuries. We weren't the first, and I know we're not alone. Something isn't right about this place. If I don't get off this island, maybe someone will eventually find this.
Absolutely 19. Matthias is very, very damn creepy. He's like, I'm a teacher by trade. Like, sure. Girl cannot catch a fucking break. That's it. You know? Bear trap and then wolves attacking. It's like, you know. Plus everything else that's happened so far. And that will happen after this point as well. Oh, if you wanted to send me that link through in a whisper, Anakin, then I'll be able to post it in chat for you.
I can't believe we're actually on an expedition to find the homeland of my ancestors. Ever since I told Lara the story of Himiko years ago, she's been hunting for its location. I never really gave it much thought. That any of this could actually be real history. My grandmother used to tell me the story like it was a memory. Many thousands of years ago, Queen Himiko ruled the land of Yamatai. The sun rose at Himiko's command, and she ruled everything its rays touched, from the mountains to the sea and beyond. But one day, Yamatai simply disappeared without a trace. Forgotten in time.
Sam, family story. It's Sam's story about the Sun Queen and Yamatai, but I don't think it's anything like she imagined. Anakin, no, it's fine. Third photo of Robert Craighead in the IMDb link where he's wearing a Stetson. He looks like a very old Andrew Scott. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't think I've seen Andrew Scott in anything. Maybe I have, but didn't know that's who it was.
I don't like the sound of that.
We'll have to wait, Whitman. There are a few things I'm doing first.
Numbers. Some kind of coordinates. Did someone want these to be found?
So he's Moriarty in Sherlock series. Probably haven't actually seen him then, because I haven't actually seen that one.
Lara's having a crisis of confidence, so for her sake, I'll keep up a happy face. But something about this expedition has been making me nervous. I have butterflies in my stomach. As we sail closer to the Dragon's Triangle, I'm starting to feel nauseous, and this isn't the excited kind of nerves. What the hell is wrong with me? I should be excited. This trip is going to be awesome. I just need to shake off this feeling. Maybe I can convince Lara to take a break and have a drink with me.
Sam, feelings of unease. This is part of Sam's diary. Something was really bothering her. Did she have a premonition about the expedition? Given the fact that Himiko and Sam are actually, in a way, related, it's understandable that she would feel something, but not quite know what it was, when they were getting closer and closer to the island of Yamatai. keeping in mind as well that at this point in the story, none of them know that they're actually here on the island just yet. But Sam's premonition and the fact that Himiko controls the weather around that region is definitely connected.
This might work as a ramp. There's got to be a way to raise it up higher. One more should do it. Now what? That did it. Japanese no actors could tilt their heads up and down to make the rigid mask express different emotions.
Female no mask. Japanese no actors could tilt their heads up and down to make the rigid mask express different emotions. Hey, Sowcat. Welcome on into you. How's things? You got yourself some warm fried fish from the food truck and a can of Monster. Oh, nice combo, Salcat. That's awesome. So what flavor of Monster drink did you get?
Warn me about the wolves, Doctor.
Salcat Ultra, but you like the original or Mango Loco. They're usually out of those. Oh no. Yeah, I hate when that happens too. And something else I really hate is when there's something that is selling well, that if you ever go and get it, or want to go and get it, if there's ever going to be anything that's out of stock, it's going to be that. And then it gets to a point where, for some reason, even though it was so popular, it gets pulled from the shelves. Forever. It's like, why? You think to yourself, the other stuff is shit. Why does that get to still exist? It's...
Whitman is such a drama queen. I can't believe the hissy fit he threw during the filler shoot. I mean, this is his job, right? It's not like he's offering anything to the actual research part of this expedition. Once we find Yamatai and the cameras are rolling, he'll calm down. He might be a total pain in the ass, but he knows how to work a scene. I just need to do my job and keep my cool. Lara doesn't know it, but I've been shooting footage of her too. I really want to make sure she gets the credit she deserves. And besides, she looks great on film. I think she's a natural. That's probably gonna drive Whitman out of his mind with jealousy. But by the time he finds out, we'll be enjoying the premiere and Telluride.
Sam, filmmaker. Whitman was making it so hard for Sam to do her job. The good doctor has really shown his true colors on this trip. Yeah. It's funny because you could wait until the end of the game, or after the point where Whitman really reveals his true colors, but that would give it a different context. But at this point, if you collect it, you know, it's kind of like, Larry, you haven't seen anything yet. So okay, the shitty flavors are always fully stocked, and you're like, buy less of those and more of the popular flavors. You might be a nutter, but that seems like logic to me. You would think so. It's like, let's get rid of the shit that's not selling well, not get rid of the shit that is. It's like, what the fuck? Like, oh, it's too popular. We can't keep up with demand. So we'll just get rid of it. So okay, this one store got rid of Monster. They claim it's unhealthy, but now they're having a sponsor deal with Red Bull. Suddenly all Monster's shelf space was only Red Bull? That's a bit hypocritical of them, to put it mildly. So okay, you asked the manager about it, and he agreed it made zero sense. The young people they're worried about, he said, don't even buy Monster, but lots of the cheaper brands. Yeah, sometimes it makes you really scratch your head and wonder why certain things end up the way that they are. They simply needed an excuse to push the competitor off the shelves. Yeah. Whatever they could do to get that achieved. Alright, one more of those to get.
It is ancient, but these mechanisms, someone built them quite recently.
There we go. Alright, so that's all 10 of those.
This mask was used in the traditional Japanese no theater. I think it represents a demon, or Oni. There's a price tag. Looks like this one is a replica.
These are fascinating.
I've seen these before.
Oh?
They must be ritualistic.
This female image is particularly interesting.
Looks like it was made quite recently.
It's by those islanders, no doubt. Judging by the wrecks out there, they were once like us. Survivors. Remarkable.
Yes, well, let's hope we don't become murderers, too.
See if you can work the other one.
The handle's missing.
Together.
Oh, shit. It won't take the force. I'll have to find something sturdier to turn it with.
Must be something around here we can use. Incredible.
Let's see if I can fix this axe.
Solar imagery. Some kind of sun worship. Amaterasu? Possibly. But why would survivors turn to worshipping an ancient Japanese sun goddess? Curious.
So Whitman mentioned a word, Amaterasu, and looking that up, apparently it is a sun goddess from whom the Japanese imperial family claims descent, and an important Shinto deity. Hello Spectrum, welcome to you. I hope it's going well.
All right, Laura. Shall we give it a go then?
Let's do this, Doctor.
Whenever you're ready. No rest for the weary, Laura. Let's go. Let's keep going, shall we? That female figure on the gate. Given the age of the symbols, it could be the Sun Queen.
Himiko. Are you sure you're not channeling Sam, Dr. Whitman?
I know this has been rather traumatizing. Well, there's no doubt. Himiko had power. Some say shamanistic, elemental.
A woman wields that much power, and sooner or later it gets called witchcraft.
We shouldn't discount anything, even what may seem to us irrational. We still have much to learn about the world.
You sound like my father.
It could be one hell of a story, Laura.
Not if we don't live to tell it.
There must be so much history on this island. Come along, let's see what we can find.
To get that dialogue there, I had to do that movement, because if we move too far, that dialogue will get cut off. Afro, as it is a 2013 game, is it filled with bloom and particle physics? Maybe?
What else we might find?
I'm not really that technically minded, so I don't really know which games in which years and which decades had certain video game advancements in technology that gets used and which games they were in and all that kind of stuff, so maybe it does. Whatever they use to get the effect of things like, you know, the flickering of flames and the fog rolling through and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the technical terms for all that stuff. I just play the games, really. I don't really go into all that detail stuff. In that respect, anyway. You doing alright, Spectrum? Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. And I'm doing really good, thank you. Things are going well.
Incredible. Oh, it is Himiko.
But look, the bowl, the candles. Why is she still being worshipped?
This island, it must have once been part of Yamatai. You were right, Laura.
The Lost Kingdom.
It's like finding Atlantis.
But this is real, Dr. Whitman. We're not standing on a myth.
No, we're standing on a gold mine.
Come, quickly. Your friends are hurt.
Yes, probably by them.
Get back.
They can't be trusted. You still have a gun.
I don't want any trouble.
No.
We'll come.
No.
But I insist that afterwards you take us to whoever's in charge.
What are you doing?
Be quiet.
No!
I'm handling this.
No!
No! Please!
Get off!
Just go along with them, Laura. Do whatever they say.
Дай меня пистолет. Иди. Пошла.
Who are you people? What do you want with us?
Laura!
If they give you any trouble, kill them.
Don't hurt them,
I
please!
said silence, girl. А ты ведь хорошенькая, да? Напоминаешь мою сестру.
Let go! Let go! Laura, run!
Round them up! Round them up! Don't
Don't you fucking move. Kill them all!
Oh, you'll get to a point where you won't be moving at all.
Hey, bring up the prisoner.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Anything?
Keep looking. There, another one.
God.
Gonna have to kill most of them. Too bad. Could have used some more recruits.
Keep an eye out. All right.
Well and truly, Cellcat. So much drama for sure.
What do you see? Nothing. No.
Любишь играться в прятки, малышка? Думаешь, удастся спастись? No one escapes. Out! Вылезай! Но трать моего времени!
I always find
Она тоже была порядочной стервой.
Alright, time to shoot him in the dick first. And then shoot this asshole in the fucking head. Don't move.
Oh, God.
That's no worries at all, 19. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a good one, and I hope you have a good rest as well. Harbinger, Rod is probably too tired and fell asleep with the stream on. Why, Harbinger? What happened? Did I have the mic muted or something? Thanks for the good luck for the rest of the stream, 19. I hope that you have a good one as well.
Got another one. She went down over there.
Is she dead?
I don't know. Outsider, we know you're here. There's nowhere to run. Shit, gun!
Stay away from me!
Let's see if we can...
Testing my mic, testing my mic. Ah, okay, I don't know how that happened. But there is a weird thing with my headset audio switch for the mic when I mute it off and when I mute it on. Sometimes I have to really push hard in the other direction for it to actually turn off. So I don't know what I might have missed and what not, so I'll just cover my bases. That's great to hear, Spectrum. I'm glad that you're doing alright. I'm doing really well. Salcat, so much drama. Absolutely. There definitely is in this game story. Harbinger, do you remember anything from the last time you did the challenges in AC Revelations? You're trying to get the last 2, craft 1 bomb with every shell and 1 for every effect, have crafted over 50 so far. Yeah, I have had that problem before with that, but I can't remember what the solution was. But I think it's something to do with the way that they word it. The way that they word it doesn't actually match what you need to do. 19, time to pass out, but hope to watch the VOD. That's okay, 19. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Thanks for the good luck wishes as well. I really do appreciate it. Catch you next time.
Tanker?
Nah, looked like some kind of research ship.
Should be some good stuff then.
We'll find out soon. We got a crew towing it in now.
Think we'll get any new recruits out of this bunch?
Fuck, man, I don't know. Better for them if they just die now.
How do you figure?
Well, how long's the last batch been in the pit?
I don't know, a few weeks?
Yeah, and they're probably starving by now. With blood and piss for days. Come on, what do you think's gonna happen if we throw one of those new ones in there? Yeah, eaten alive.
So that dialogue about the pit, if you don't listen for it, the next time you find out about the pit in the story is later on, when you actually get to that location. But it's cool that if you actually listen to dialogue like this, sometimes you actually get foreshadowing of places and events.
What's going on down there? Everything okay?
Lara, are you there?
Yes.
I can see smoke coming from the old ruins. Are you okay?
Oh God, Ross, I'm in trouble. They're killing people.
What? Who?
Men. I don't know why. I had to kill some of them. I had no choice.
That can't have been easy.
It's scary just how easy it was. You've got to warn the others, Roth.
Don't worry about them right now. You just do whatever it takes to get to me, Lara.
I'll try. The thing about nightmares is sooner or later you wake up. But there's no waking up from this place. Which means I'm really here. I'm really doing these things. No, don't think about it, Lara. Not now. It won't help. I don't know what's happened to the rest of the crew. I hope they're okay. They have to be. They have to be. I don't know what the hell is going on here. All that matters is that Roth finds a way to get us home.
Hello there, Lucinda. Good morning to you as well. Welcome on in. It's going good. Just backtracking now to pick up some stuff. For this first of 3 playthroughs I'm doing of this game back to back, I'm doing a 100% playthrough. Then the second playthrough will be music only. And then the third playthrough will be seeing all the death animations, or trying to, in the whole game from start to finish, in multiple different contexts and situations. Lucinda, you doing okay? Gearing up for a day of cleaning. Oh wow, cleaning day. Well, I guess that has to be done at some point. I hope it goes well for you though. I hope it's not going to be too stressful or anything. Glad to hear you're enjoying the playthrough today. Yeah, finally got to the game though, because I was doing some other stuff to celebrate this game's 10th anniversary, so I did a stream showing some more behind the scenes stuff, and that was probably about an hour or so worth of content, and then made a start on the actual gameplay playthrough of it. But I read the prequel comic that's set before the start of this game as well. I read that out at the start of this stream.
Darling, think before filing those papers. I've sunk the last of my fortune into this expedition, but it's all going to come back tenfold. If you divorce me now, you won't see a penny of it. You've been with me since I was nothing. You know what I'm capable of achieving. I haven't lost my touch. I'm just at a low point right now. Don't you see? I'm on to something here. Laura, you remember her, my young protege. She has real data to back up her theories, but she doesn't have my savvy. It's going to be my name on the discovery and my face in front of the cameras. If this all pans out, the show will be huge. If you want to leave me then, I promise I won't fight you, but please, just wait on it. I can't have this kind of publicity muddling my image. Please.
Whitman, don't leave me. A letter from Whitman's notebook. He's such a self-serving man. I can't believe I used to admire him. Hello there, Mauler. How's it going, dude? Looking very fit with all that running. Thank you so much for the 13 months in a row, Mauler. I will fight you. Mauler versus Whitman. Thank you very much for that, Mauler. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome of you. Thank you, thank you. Alright, that is now this first overall area done to 100% completion. Skill points. Alright, we'll get it. Steady shot. A focused mind allows you more time to aim deadly shots with your bow. Done. Oh, I'm doing really good, Mauler. I'm having a good Friday. Unfortunately, in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I died 2 hours into the stream, so I decided at that point to end the stream and then wait until next week to do another attempt. Steady shot. Hold charged bow shots for double the time. Alright, let's go for ammo capacity. Efficient use of bags and pockets allows you to carry more ammunition. Mauler, how many attempts have you made this time around? So I'm actually on my 12th attempt now, but I'll be starting that 12th attempt next week. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to do that playthrough, but until it's done, I'll be doing split streams. It revised the rules to just restart the chapter. Unfortunately, there's no chapter by chapter selection in that game. But yeah, I've done the no death challenge for the other two games, and I didn't have the rule where I could use checkpoints, so it's the same with Shadow. It did, Mauler. Yep, it sure did. But to be fair, Lara killed a few of them when she was there. So they're just getting their revenge. Okay, this is where I'm going to actually end the stream. for this week. I'm a bit streamed out. But I just want to thank everyone so much for watching. We're going to go and raid Crocodiles, who's playing Assassin's Creed Revelations. I want to give some shout outs though first. Would like to highly recommend people check out Lucinda and Mauler as well, pardon me. Lucinda most recently finished Resident Evil Code Veronica. She's actually doing a marathon of the series, so the next one lined up, which she'll be starting on Monday, will be Resident Evil 4 Original. She's never played the game on professional mode before, so she'll be playing on that highest difficulty, and she'll also be including the Resident Evil 4 remake into that marathon playthrough as well, and also the games beyond Resident Evil 4. So highly recommend checking out Lucinda. Is a great streamer, has a great community. Also highly recommend checking out Mauler. He's also got a great community, very friendly, same with Lucinda of course, and definitely have a great time. He plays games like Phasmophobia, as well as at the moment doing a playthrough of Detroit Become Human, but he's doing a playthrough called Detroit Become Violent. So all the options in the game to be violent, he's actually going to be undertaking. So he's doing that type of playthrough of that game. He's also a streamer of Goose Goose Duck. He is a big fan of that game. Also plays with viewers as well. So yeah, highly recommend checking out both of those streamers if you haven't before. Lucinda, thanks for the stream, Rod. It was good to see you this morning. That's absolutely no trouble at all, Lucinda. Sorry about the length of this stream, because I had the 2-hour one with Shadow, and then an hour one with the behind the scenes, and then almost 3 hours with this one. And yeah, but thank you so much for stopping in. Mauler, much love, brother. You're bummed you've been a little away from keyboard lately. Miss you, Rod. That's completely understandable, Mauler. You know, it's definitely great to see you in chat as well, and it's understandable that, you know, not everyone can make every stream, so it's definitely understandable, Mauler. Thank you so much for the 13 months in a row again, Mauler. That's really appreciated. No worries, Lucinda. No worries for the shout out. Mauler, the final few chapters on Monday of Detroit Become Human, so getting very, very close to the end. Yeah, I cannot wait to replay that game again, and the fact that I have a PS5 now means that I can play that game again, but also other games that I never got an opportunity to back in 2020 when I borrowed the PS4 that I borrowed from my friend that time. So it'd be good to actually replay that again, but on the PS5 this time around. I wonder what sort of like little improvements here and there they might have done for it for the PS5. So we're going to go and raid Crocodiles. Here's a raid message that people can feel free to put into chat. Of course, definitely feel free to add any emotes to that you would like to as well. There's another variation, including some free follower emotes as well. And let's kick off the raid. So the next stream you'll see from me will be Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'm doing my annual playthrough of Assassin's Creed at the moment. So if you see me streaming Assassin's Creed Revelations, you know it's become Saturday for me. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone has a good one, and I'll get back to this game next Friday, as well as another attempt at my Shadow of the Tomb Raider No Death challenge also. Thanks for watching. Until next time.